Starting. We are live. Good morning. It's Monday.
Good morning.
Good morning, James. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Monday Momentum. We just want to say hello. Welcome you to your week. We get together every Monday to help ourselves and you get some momentum going around what you're doing and making sure that you feel good about your week and you start it in the right direction. Good morning, Linda. So it's our goal every Monday morning to remind those of you who are working from home or are solopreneurs or sometimes feeling like you're all by yourself doing this amazing project, moving this giant mountain, that you're not alone, that there are people out there that are doing similar things, that we get how you feel, we feel the same way ourselves, we get isolated feelings, we get caught up in our work, we might forget to do our laundry, or we might let ourselves get distracted and do nothing but laundry when we should be working. These are all the kinds of challenges that you have when you work from home. And so we get together every Monday to talk about business ideas, to share our knowledge, to share tips, to help you find the direction you want to go in for the week so that when you slide into Friday afternoon, you feel like, yeah, I got the things done that I wanted to do. I didn't get distracted and go off in some other direction. So that's our goal. I'm Sarah Coolidge. I do this every Monday with my compatriots, James McFadden and Linda Kay. I'm out here in California, and then Linda's on the East Coast. James is somewhere in the middle. I don't know where he is. Linda, why don't you introduce yourself, pass it off to James.
Good morning, Linda Kay here. I know that distraction about laundry. That's why I'm a minute or so late here. But happy Monday Momentum, and Sarah, happy birthday this week.
Oh, thank you, honey.
All right, so my name's Linda Kay, and I am a website designer, developer, and WordPress consultant. My website's lindakay.com.
And you're doing your laundry this morning, I guess. Okay, accountability.
So, good morning, everybody. My name is James McFadden. I'm here in sunny, beautiful southern Utah. What am I saying?
California.
Yeah, I'm from Southern California. I spent 42 years there, but I've been here for 8 years, and we're tapping out at about 103 today. I think maybe 105 degrees. It's quite crispy outside. And happy Flag Day.
Oh, yeah.
Today's Flag Day. My son was out at 6:30 this morning with his scout troop putting flags up in front of everybody's houses. So I do marketing systems, and recently launched seemespace.com. We are moving forward, so let's see. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Okay. So, today we have sort of a catch-up topic, I guess, is maybe what I would call it. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about why we've chosen to talk about what we're talking about, which is why. As you know, audience, we all have relationships with an organization called CEO Space, and James and I both were there a week and a half ago or so at our regular conference. And one of the things that happened for me there was I was sort of feeling like I'm not sure what my next step should be. I'm not sure what I want to get out of this conference. And we've talked a lot in the past about the importance of planning when you go to a conference. What are you going to get out of it so that you feel like your investment was well spent? And yet I was struggling with that. And by the end of it, what happened is I reconnected with a friend named Anne Lorimer, who is about to break the world record by climbing Kilimanjaro, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. She's 85 years old, and that's why it's a world record she's going to break, because when she gets to the top, she will be the oldest woman to have climbed this mountain, as far as we know anyway. So it's kind of an exciting thing, and of course it's very admirable. Someone at that age we often think of as someone who is not going to be doing things like that. And Anne is just a regular old lady. She's not an athlete. She hasn't been doing these kinds of things all her life, though she does enjoy challenges and getting out there. So at any rate, when I ran into her at CEO Space, I was reminded of the the excitement of this challenge that she's taking on. And to be honest with everyone, I'm planning on going on this trip with her, and it reinvigorated me and got me more excited about the whole thing. That, gee, you know, not only are we all planning to go to Africa, there's a group of CEO Space people that will be going and climbing this mountain, but when we do that, we will be together with someone when they break a world record. And how inspiring and how exciting. So the reason that I'm telling you this long story is that what that did for me was reconfirm my why about why I wanted to go and what I wanted to get out of CEO Space, and reinvigorated all of my next set of activities. And that's what the power of your why is. It's not, you know, we all are doing our projects, whatever they are, and for most of us there's more than one. There are maybe too many. That's another topic. Focus. But when you remember what it is that is motivating you to build this business or to push this project forward, that can give you all the energy you need to really get through the hump that you might be finding yourself in if you're feeling stuck, or if you're feeling as though people are not getting you or responding to you or buying your product. There's just this strong evidence that that's because people get more interested in why you're doing something than what it is you're doing. They want to know why, what's behind it. And for me, remembering why Anne was going helped me remember why I was going, and gave me lots of energy. And so we've been hoping that we could get her on our hangout. She's not coming as far as we know today, because at 85, you can imagine she might not be as skilled technologically as an 18-year-old. So maybe we'll get her, hopefully maybe next week. But if we could talk a little bit today about, you know, why do you do what you're doing? What keeps you going? And what motivates you? And then different ideas for how this community could help support Anne in getting the attention that we want her to get, because this is a big deal, and because she's an unassuming woman, and again, that technological challenge, it's kind of a secret that she's doing this. So anyone want to volunteer? You want to talk a little bit about why you're doing what you're doing and what motivates you to do it? James or Linda?
Well, one of the things that I do is I create websites, and I recently started working with a friend of mine who was from corporate. And although she's been designing websites for years, she's been doing it in the corporate environment. Now I've introduced her to the tools that I use, and she's falling in love with it. And I've been showing her every time a client, I just launched a new website, and it's awesome. And I keep getting these messages, texts, emails, telling me how beautiful the site is and how much they love it. And I keep going, see, this is why I do what I do. Because it makes a difference in people's business lives. And I think my passion, why I do what I do, is I love making technology easy for people. I hear so many times, especially women, oh, it's too technical, I can't do that. Well, you know what? With just a little bit of guidance, you can do that. So to me, it's just really rewarding. And you know why I do it is because I love, like I said, to make technology easy for others.
And seeing the success that they feel. Yeah. Great. James?
Yeah, I think that's, for the most part, why we do the things we do, is because there's a passion, there's a love for that, and I think sometimes the when like Aaron Young, or not Aaron Young, Aaron Johnson, who's launching his Shopbox. In fact, I haven't heard anything. I'm waiting to hear when he's going on Kickstarter. But he created this Shopbox so that scrapbookers could capture images of their pages because they're usually oversized books that are difficult to scan. But it's turned into a product that can take pictures of the food that you make, or it can take pictures of the products that you build, and jewelry, and just about everything, and it's really easy for individuals to make. But this is an area that he's been passionate about for a long time, and that is preserving pictures, preserving history, preserving kind of the work that we do. And I think one of the struggles that he's had was creating the backstory in a way that could be easily and quickly shared so that you get others excited as well. And I think that is something that it's interesting because, as you know, and as we've talked about in all these Hangouts, the why is something that's always been really important and critical for me. But I think it's sometimes the hardest thing for us to articulate for ourselves. And so certainly getting things built to put together on a website, like what Linda's talking about, getting those thoughts and ideas on a website helps to refine and define that message, that story, the why you do that. But ultimately, in marketing, why I do what I do specifically boils down to seeing so many business owners, especially small business owners, throwing so much money away trying to capture their audience, trying to establish a strong footprint in the community and to grow their market share, and not getting the results that they were expecting, or that in a lot of respects they were desperate for or needed to survive. And so in that marketing mantra, if you will, or in the messages that we create in marketing, it really boils down to creating messages and creating an image, a brand that when the money is spent in the advertising and trying to capture eyeballs, if you will, there is a return. There is there's a measurable response from that. Having been a business owner prior to really getting my feet solid in just marketing, I went to school for marketing and advertising 30 years ago, but I did have a series of my own businesses, and I think that was the number one thing that I struggled with, was all the money that we would spend in advertising, and some of that money not giving us a return. So
yeah, and this is exactly the marketing and the challenge of getting the word out is exactly what motivated me or remotivated me when I ran into Anne, because we've got a great story. She's trying not only, I mean, she's going to break the world record. We'll make sure our language is correct there. But she's also doing it in part to raise money for young people, for youth. And so getting that message out before she actually makes the climb is so important to me, because it generates, if we can get the interest generated and paying attention to her, she's much more likely to be able to raise that money than if it's after the fact that people find out that she's done this thing. I mean, there's certainly a lot of power there as well, but getting eyeballs on it and getting the message out is what we're trying to do, and there's zero budget to do that with. So it's all about the goodness of people's hearts and people being willing to volunteer their time to click on Facebook or forward a like or a Twitter or whatever it is, or maybe to do a little bit more. And that's, a challenge, but it's because there's something exciting there. For me, the why that the reason that I do this every Monday and the reason that I do a lot of what I do is because I have a strong belief that with persistence you can get a lot of things done. And that's because of experiences that I've gone through myself. And it's not a new story. It's not a new idea. Lots of people have talked about it forever, that, you know, you just keep going and eventually you'll get there, and slow and steady wins the race, and never, never, never give up. And there's plenty of quotes out there. But having lived through some things that I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. I just don't know how I'm ever going to get out from under this or through this or get this done. And then being able to do it, I have really come to believe that all of you can do what it is you're trying to do. You can, and your dream is actually the most important thing in your world. And if you ignore your dream, it's not going to go away. It's just going to be there hanging over your shoulder for the whole rest of your life, whispering in your ear, and you might as well just go and do the thing and work towards it instead of trying to run away from it. And all that's going to take, it will take a lot, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly going to be around persistence and not giving up. So that's my message, and that's why I do this, because I don't want you to give up. I want you to know that whatever it is you're working on is worth doing, and there are people out there that believe in you, and that's us, and probably others as well. But sometimes we need a little reminder. So that's the why that drives it, and then the things that we do are the Monday Momentum, the networking meetings. There's other things to support that, but the why is, you know, you're not invisible, you're not alone. Keep going. You can have what you're dreaming about, and that's because I found that value, and I got what I wanted when I kept going. And you know, basically, that was around keeping my family the way and not losing it completely. So that's a whole nother story. But what I wanted to remind people about that why is people respond to your why, and you know, James said that sometimes it's hard for us to articulate it, and yet it's really important that we do, because that's what they respond to. They don't respond to our service, oh, you're a marketer, oh, you build websites, oh, you know, you're a networker. It's, oh, you know, you do this because of that, and then they're much more interested. And the classic story that we've heard several times now is, and I wish I remembered the name, so sorry, but there was a man who was dying to become rich and famous by becoming the first person to be able to fly. And we've heard this story at CEO Space, so if you know his name, go ahead and chime it in. But he worked really hard. He had all the best people, all the smartest people at the time. He had all sorts of money to back his project, and he was working on becoming the first person to have, you know, manned flight. And then across the world, we have the Wright brothers, who are bicycle mechanics, doing the same thing, but their reason, their motivation, their why was because they wanted to be able to fly. And the other guy, he was some hoity-toity lord or something, he wanted to be rich and famous. Well, once the Wright brothers actually did it, the other one gave up, and nobody even knows who he is. See, I can't remember his name. We all know who the Wright brothers are, and that's because their why drove them, and people engaged with them on that level. People helped them, and people loved the story because it was two guys, two brothers, that were determined to make this happen no matter what, and they didn't care about the fame or the money. That wasn't what was doing it. They wanted to be able to fly. And so, you know, the why worked for them. At any rate, you know, now what we're dealing with, or what I'm dealing with, is setting up a way to keep in communication and keep people interested as much as possible with what Ann's doing. And I wondered if you two had ideas about how we could do that, if we could brainstorm a little bit in our last 10 minutes, how to bring some attention to what Ann's doing while we're still in this country and once we head off to Africa as well. Any ideas?
Linda, Sarah and I talked about a few things this morning, but I, for one, like you said, want to make this a collaborative effort, simply because it's like what Sarah said this morning before we went on. There's a lot of people doing a lot of things, but there's a few people doing a tremendous amount of things. And so we were talking about setting up a process, especially once you're over there in Africa, setting up a process where through a series of emails and Dropbox or what's the one you like, Sarah?
Google Drive.
Google Drive, that's right, sorry. We'll be able to get pictures and get blog posts set up. We did start setting up imwatchingann.com, is that right? Is that the?
Yes.
So imwatchingann.com. So we want to be able to make it possible for you to send an email that could show up as a blog post, and send pictures and video and so forth. But I think what you're doing right now, leading up to going out, there is a tremendous amount of people out there that are sharing the I'm Watching Ann, and the nature of these types of or you really aren't going to have. There's no way to force this conversation. It has to, at some point, take hold organically. So what everyone is doing, I think, is phenomenal, and I think we need to keep that momentum, try to keep that momentum, and just keep reminding people on a daily basis to share. And you, in a lot of respects, you hope that you can reach that organic moment where it just takes off. So, any thoughts, any ideas, anything that you've thought of, Linda?
Well, you talked about Dropbox and a series of emails and all this other stuff. Is somebody actually building out a website for this domain?
Yeah, we have it. We have it set up. We haven't started making it yet, but we were just going to make a landing page to start that would redirect to the donation page that she has right now. And then start.
I would be happy to help contribute to building an awesome blog site where I don't know if you're going to get cell reception up there or not, but you could actually post from your cell phone.
Right.
That would be great, and you'll have to teach me a little bit more about how to do that. I think, I'm going to be bringing the fancy camera, a little video camera, my phone, some storage capabilities, so that if we go dark for a few days while we're climbing, there'll be stuff that maybe I can send ahead of time, and obviously after we get back down. But some of it I need education on, and this is the struggle. If you can imagine that, I told James earlier, I spent over an hour on the phone with Ann trying to teach her, and she doesn't live near me, so it was on the phone, which I said. Trying to teach her how to get into a Hangout so that we could have her on the air with you guys, and you could see, meet her and talk to her a little bit, and because that would help. We all know that SEO is great with Google because Google owns YouTube and it likes itself. So if we could get her here, that would help. But it was too hard to do. We couldn't do it, and so these are the kinds of challenges. What I'm envisioning now as we talk is the campaign as it is right now is please Twitter, please like Facebook, I'm Watching Ann, and the website will be imwatchingann.org, not .com. But we only have a week and a half until we leave. There's not a lot of time to get things done. A landing page I know we can do if we have generous help. But maybe what it's going to have to be, at least to keep me happy, because I'm going on this trip as well, and I'm bringing my kids. I got enough organizing and managing of that to do. But maybe it'll be I'm Sarah, and you can watch me watch Ann. Because that's all I can really do is just, I'll be there taking pictures of everything, including Ann, and talking about what's happening, and those can be the blog posts. You can watch Sarah watch Ann, and until we can help Ann be able to be live online herself.
Sarah Coolidge, roving reporter.
That's exactly what I was.
Kilimanjaro.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But,
yeah, because I can document as much as possible, and if people would interact, number one, and then support making sure that we're getting it out in the cleanest way possible, because we don't want to make it hard for people to find out what's going on with Ann, or find out where they can donate money or time or energy or whatever they might want to do. We want it to be as easy as possible, but rather than trying to get Ann to do more, because this is an 85-year-old woman who's going to be hiking up 19,000 feet. She's kind of doing enough. We have to think of ways to be near her and get the attention, but not expect her to produce much more. That's kind of what I think. And maybe that's it. I'll be the roving reporter. Watch Sarah, watch Ann. Kind of sounds like, well, voyeur.
No, I think that's great. In fact, I don't know if I think at one point they started a funding page, but I think that funding page should be an ongoing thing. I think I'll look into where they're at with that. I know I talked with Jeffrey Francois a little bit, on specifically on those issues. I think if we have the constant input and the constant ability to follow everything that's happening, and we set that up through Indiegogo or Kickstarter, whatever, wherever. I think, and there's GoFundMe. There's a couple of them that are specifically for nonprofits, but and for causes like this. So I think if it's an ongoing thing that can build momentum, I think even while she's out and on this trek, I think that's when potentially the most attention will actually come, is when it's in progress. Because until, I mean, how many people have said I'm gonna, as opposed to I am doing, look what I'm doing, I'm doing it. So I think there's a reluctance in the general population, where there's not an established relationship of trust, because there's an unknown factor. I don't know this person. I see all these people who know this person, but I still don't know this person. I think that's what the struggle is getting it to kind of teeter to the point where someone goes, I know this person, I trust this person is, oh my gosh. That's where you get that organic involvement. So once, as this builds momentum, as you get to closer and closer to your going, and then you're going, and then you're there, and everything else, I think that's when the most support and the most the largest contributions are going to come for that purpose that she's doing this. So I think that's, and again, like I said, there's a lot I feel like I can contribute, but I don't want to. I don't want to do this alone, and I know, Sarah, you don't want to do this alone. So you put up a message, tweet twice a day. It's a what do they call that? Hashtag. Hashtag I'm watching Ann.
Are you?
Yep, that's the one thing that anybody that's watching and all of us can do, if we can't do anything else, is tweet that. Because if we can get the tweet numbers up, that'll get some of the attention that we're looking for. And it's just I'm watching Ann, all smashed together, hashtag I'm watching Ann, and then a space, are you, ? Please retweet. And just keep sending it out. And go to the I'm Watching Ann Facebook page and like it and share it. Go to imwatchingann.org when it's live, which should be soon, and tell people and take pictures of yourself holding the sign, I'm watching Ann. Do anything you can just to get it up there, and that will help. And beyond that, we'll keep brainstorming ways to get the information out to people as we're working, or as we're heading out to fly away to Africa and the whole dang thing, because the climb itself doesn't happen until the first, well, like July 10th, I think, is when we start, or July 9th. So we have time till then, but we're leaving the country soon. And we're out of time. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you guys. Linda, would you go ahead and sign out and pass it off to James, and then I'll say goodbye?
All right. Well, this is Linda at lindak.com, wishing Sarah a very happy birthday this week. And
Thank you.
Happy Monday, everyone.
Oh, happy Monday, happy Flag Day, and yes, happy birthday. When's your birthday, Sarah? What day?
Wednesday.
Wednesday. So everybody, hashtag I'm watching Ann. Be sure to help us get the message out, and we look forward to building some momentum behind hashtag I'm watching Ann.
Thank you, James. So I'm Sarah Coolidge. You can find me at ceospacewest.com. Yes, please, hashtag I'm watching Ann. Tweet that like mad. And join us next Monday. We can cross our fingers. Maybe we'll be able to get Ann here. That would be so great. But if not, it's only because we can't do the technology, not because our hearts aren't in it. And it would be fun to share with her and share with you all of that. So remember what we were talking about with the why. People are not interested in what you're doing. They want to know why you're doing it. I mean, sure, they're interested on some level, but they are much more likely to buy from you and interact with you when they understand why. What's running the show? What is the message in your heart that makes you do these things that you do? So keep that in mind. That's why we are here, to support you, to keep you going when you feel as though you're all on your own. That's what we're here for. So come back next week, and we'll see you next Monday. Bye.
Bye-bye.